Capricorn, this is your August 2025 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, it's your reading. Thank you so much for joining me. It's Romy here. We're going to open up for you this month with the energy of the Five of Swords. And, you know, when we look there at almost like this skeleton-like figure, it's almost like something's been taken right back to the bones, right? And it may be that the stripping back quality of something is really hitting home for you in some way. You may feel as though there are parts of your life that have changed irrevocably, or that you've had to strip something right back in order to make sense of it or to find a way to rebuild it. Wherever you are, you know, the fives are an invitation. Sometimes we might say a challenge, to look directly in the eye what you are facing, to come to terms with something, but also to understand and know that actually you have the answers within you, and you're also going to be given in those moments when you're navigating this path the right tools, the right nudges, the right signs. We just have to look up and we have to expect them, and sometimes we have to remind ourselves that we need to ask for them as well. Now, there's almost like a little bit of a sacred disruption quality to the month of August, and things are going to feel less polished and perfect. At the same time, that's an invitation to just keep it real with yourself. So we want you to make this work for you. We want you to almost make it part of the dance, and in a way get out of your own way. Now, Mars is shifting into Libra on the 6th, and here the actions that we take are, you know, coming from this desire for things to feel right and just and fair. Sometimes life doesn't always feel right and just and fair, and so sometimes we find ourselves in a position where we're having to make choices and decisions, and none of them feel particularly good, you know, or we're still grappling to kind of find a way to make a compromise work or to try to keep everybody happy. And, you know, what we come to appreciate is that, you know, that's almost impossible. So there's something about the way that you make peace with yourself this month in terms of the choices and decisions that you're making. We kind of deal with the discomfort head on so that we can be free to reimagine things beyond our current set of circumstances that may be challenging us. Now, even if you are feeling like there is some sort of disappointment or setback energy early on in the month, what I'm going to say to you is this soul story of August has more than a few twists and turns and more than a few surprises to come your way. You know, slow can be sacred, and so there's something about the realization that you don't have to rush to have this figured out, okay? We can see that you're moving almost into this like brand new chapter through this gateway, through this portal, and there's almost like a intentionality and a purpose to the way that you're walking towards something that, you know, maybe you don't fully understand, maybe you don't have all of the answers to right now, but there's a willingness, there's an open mind and an open heart. And there's also an understanding that actually, you know, perhaps in your life right now, you're recognizing, I'm not making the most of everything that I've got, of who I am, of the gifts that I have, of the experiences that, you know, have shown up for me. And that may not have been your fault. You know, there could be a whole string of external circumstances that have put you in a position where you've just had to firefight or you've had to prioritize other things. But something about this month of August, we're in 8th house energy during Leo season, and, you know, there can feel like there's a splitting open in regards to that. There may also be a lot of renegotiating going on for you, maybe even refinancing. Remember these key themes of 8th house energy, and we're still in that Mercury retrograde time. So as you're contemplating and poring back over things, you know, there's also a realization maybe about what you don't know. You know, maybe you thought you were sort of fairly well informed with regards to something, but again, early on in the month, it may be that more things come to light that are going to feel like, wow, you know, I wished somebody had told me that sooner. But at the same time, it's going to help you actually to shape something that feels better and more I want to say like more robust in some way, more secure for you in terms of something that you're thinking about. We have to repeat things, we have to rehearse them, we have to expand in the awareness that in order to become something, right, there has to be like a consistency of practice brought forth, right? We don't find integration and embodiment through just like a one-time deal. So, there may be some things that you're actually feeling kind of tired of like doing over and over again, but I don't know that you can even really appreciate the progress and how far you've got to in some areas. And one of the things that's going to be shown to you quite powerfully, quite palpably through the month of August is actually that what you've invested, what you've devoted in terms of making a shift in yourself is really about to come good in some way that is surprising in a really beautiful way, okay? Now, I want to talk to you about when we come up to this period of Lionsgate on the 8th. The 8th and the 9th, we've got some tricky cosmic conversations, right? So Mars in Libra now is opposing Saturn retrograde on the 8th, and then opposing Neptune retrograde on the 9th, where we're also going to see our full moon in Aquarius arriving. You've got the Ten of Wands. Fairly accurate in terms of what we might be feeling into in those days in August, because we're going to be challenged in some way. The structures that are in place are going to feel a little bit unstable. Things are going to feel a bit restrictive in some way, but also feeling like they're dissolving, and it's almost like that mirage, like, it was there and now it's not there, and there's a sense of feeling a little bit overwhelmed or in some way like put upon or burdened for you in and around that time. Mars and Neptune also brings about like a surge or a spike of energy that can feel uncomfortable. And so, we know we're going to have to move through this. It's Lionsgate energy. So the important thing is that we can realize very clearly what we don't want. And that can be super supportive as we're trying to manifest or get more clear with our intentionality and our embodiment and integration work. Now, the upside of this is that as challenging and as intense as those dates might be, and remember, things can play out much more fully in a collective way and less so individually, but in some way, shape or form it will still trickle down, or it will still be felt by you in a theme in your own up close and personal experience. But what we then have, and the full moon really helping to bring it all to light and then offering us an opportunity to release, is this beautiful upside of August 11th, right? So absolutely a power day for us, not just in August, but in the year of 2025. Mercury stations direct in Leo, that's always going to be beneficial. But we have Venus conjunct with Jupiter, so beautiful, big, powerful dreams, right? It's supported then with Saturn sextiling to Uranus, so it's almost like we get some innovative ways to think about solutions, and we get the idea and then we know how we're going to do it. And so whatever is put upon us, or the test that we have to go through, like the spiritual stamina, if you like, which kind of feels true to me when I look at your Ten of Wands, it feels like you're carving out some spiritual stamina, ends up really supporting you, because you get very clear and you kind of feel really up for it, because you've just been through something that's demanded like focus or attention, or it's sort of really put you in that kind of energy of like, I'm gonna deal with this. Remember, we've got Mars stirring things here, so that's sort of combative and almost like I'm up for the fight here. But then when we come to the 11th and something really beautiful breaks through for you, there's such a sense of almost awe, actually, that something could transpire in this way, that the nature of how things come together at that point, which could never have felt foreseen even in the days leading up to it. So keep that in your mind and realize that this power day definitely sort of supports like a powerful progress and leap forward for you, okay? We've got the energy of temperance here. The thing to keep in mind is that overall in the month of August, you find your balance. So whatever it is that you've got going on, whatever it is that you're dealing with, but there's something about, again, that sacred slowness, that sort of have patience. And honestly, I want to say mostly Capricorn, have patience with yourself this month. Okay, have patience with yourself, with your responses, with your energy, with whatever it is that you've got going on. You need that. the thing to be reminded of is that, you know, waves crash and they break on the shoreline, and it can be deafening. It can feel really raw, but it's very vital and alive and powerful. And, you know, you may feel within you that there are these waves crashing all over the place. But, you know, I just have this sense of you at the same time feeling very alive and very present in your own life and in your own storyline. And temperance just kind of helps to find that wider sense of, you know, like knowing where your edge is and sort of just being able to kind of navigate the conditions but not go too far in any one way, okay? And I think that can also be super helpful if you're just needing at times to rein in perhaps what your true feelings or your desire is in terms of an action and response. And, you know, maybe temperance just steps in at the 11th hour and says, whoa, maybe we just want to think about this before we do it or before we say it. And you might be actually quite thankful of that. As you know, the energy passes and you're thinking, wow, okay, that was quite an extreme response I had, you know, understandable, you know, given perhaps what you've been through, but maybe in hindsight, you know, better for you and your nervous system to have been able to sort of work with that and then release that energy rather than projecting it or taking an action that you might have then later regretted. One of the things that comes through really strongly for you this month of August, which is really beautiful, is this reminder, you know, that if we think about the creativity, the ideas, the sort of uniqueness of kind of what pours out of people in, you know, the work that they do, the person that they are. And it's just almost like, you know, these are incredible, like cosmic downloads. You know, we don't own these ideas, we don't own this energy, it just moves through us. And I think that there's this realization for you that something is brewing, something is emerging, something is kind of wanting to be expressed and felt and spoken and shared by you in whatever way kind of creativity touches your life. So maybe that's in your work or something you're passionate about, or, you know, the growth that comes through in a exchange or a conscious connection with somebody. And it's amazing. I think you're going to feel it and you're going to understand that it is being almost like gifted to you. We've got our Six of Pentacles, so it's almost like this receiving energy that you get yourself into, particularly from the 22nd, once the sun has shifted into fellow earth sign Virgo. It's into your 9th house. You know, that higher awareness is very strong for you in this second part of August, and you are receiving something, but what you're receiving is meant to be acted upon, to be shared, to be expressed. And the thing is, it's meant to be acted upon now, right? There's almost like a slight urgency to it. So don't sit on anything that comes through and that you think to yourself, gosh, that's really inspired. Like I'm really feeling that this is something valuable for me to say, to share, to make, to create, to do. But there's something about, there you go, Ace of Pentacles, and it really does have value, actually. If you are looking in the month of August for the support or the manifestation of something from a financial perspective, it's coming. Okay, if there has been a promise, if there's an expectation, if there's a desire to want to make an improvement regarding that as a situation, I feel like you maybe have to go through a little bit of the sort of the challenge or the muckiness that comes up, you know, with you know, some of the dates and the energies that are swirling early August. But by the time we move through that and come out the other side from the 11th onwards, something is really is coming together for you in a way that actually you can acknowledge and really relate to. It's almost just like, well, yes, I've put the work in, I should be getting this, or yes, this is sort of just, this is karmic, this is as it should be. So there's a sort of, you know, you're not pushing it away. There's a sort of, yeah, I deserve this. There's a realization that comes along in that experience and in that energy that I really like for you. As I said, also, if there are ideas or things that are coming to you, they are gold. There is something divine in why they have come to you at this moment. Hold the energy as best as you can and take action, even if it's just a small step initially. You might not be in a position to do anything more significant, but do some thing that acknowledges, yep, this is mine, I feel it, I'm going to act on it, I'm directing this, I'm owning this. This is for me. Now, when Venus comes into Leo on the 25th, I think that's going to feel like a really nice time to sort of give yourself permission to shine with regards to something. You can be incredibly self-deprecating when, you know, you're in a specific mood, you know, the sort of the part of you that doesn't want to brag and boast and sort of really step up and kind of claim the stage. But this is a time for you to shine, and so you just need to be a little bit more remembering of who you are, what you've been through, what you bring to the table. And don't be afraid to do that in those, you know, in those relationships that may also in your mind be almost like taking you for granted a little bit. You know, there's this realization that just show people who you are and, you know, what you've got to offer. And if they are taking for granted or they're not appreciative of it, then, you know, that energy can go elsewhere. I don't think there's anything wrong with just that gentle reminder for you, because not only does it help your confidence, but it also just sort of puts you back in, you know, the right divine order of how things are supposed to be showing up for you. And if there are people that are sort of not fulfilling their side of things or not acting in a way that you know, is meant and destined for what you're supposed to receive at the moment, again, that action maybe just needs to be taken by you to express, you know. And it's like, as you see yourself in that light, so too will they. So if you're new to my channel, the last 3 cards we're going to look at in the extended reading, you can find the link below. Talk for another 25 minutes or so, Capricorn. We're going to look at a personal and a relationship card for you as well. I hope you'll join me. It's a way for me to keep showing up to do the free readings, so it makes a huge difference for me, so thank you. I'm going to go ahead and clarify these cards now, so if you would like to just see where this is going with me, and we'll notice what we're going to be talking about in the extended. We've got the Devil and the Ace of Swords, interesting, and the World coming through there. Knight of Coins on the Star. Now please check out my website, romywiser.com. You're going to find ways to work with me for personal readings. You're going to find all my sacred titles, so my oracle deck, and my book, my journal, all my reports, astrocartography, goddess, angel reports. I've got my membership over there, my sacred meditations. You'll also, if you check out the links to my brand new blog, I'm moving over to the island of Mallorca this year, and you can participate in my journey with me and learn about my new healing retreat that is available in October of 2026. So yeah, there's lots going on. I'd love you to come check out my journey with me. Now let's have a look at Life Soul Vision Oracle. How are we going to join this conversation? Let's take a look. New Moon. Labyrinth of Sweet Surrender. We've got Earth Star Energy, Nourish Your Inner Wealth, Maverick of the Light, Dancer of the Shadows, Vortex of Boundless Grace is also coming through there. A lot of rich, deep energy coming up in the oracles. We're just going to look at one more astrology card for Capricorn for the month of August. What do we have here? We've got the 3rd house. All right, we're going to explore that in our extended reading. The link is below, Capricorn. Have a great month of August. Make sure you check out the website, romywiser.com. I'm going to see you again next time.